I trained Rubik's Cube blindfolded for 30 days, and here's how it went. So it's day 1 and we're doing our very first solve. And we got a time of 3 minutes and 53 seconds. That's kind of slow. So I signed up to a cubing competition that has Rubik's Cube blindfolded as an event. The last time I did blindfolded, I finished in last place. You are a disgrace to family! This time I want to change that. I originally planned on training for 30 days for this competition, but I miscalculated, so now we have half the time to train to get a sub 1 minute solve so we don't get last place, which is only 17 days left until this competition. So you might be wondering, how do people even solve the Rubik's Cube blindfolded? Disclaimer, this is not a tutorial, just a brief overview of how blindfold solves work. There's 2 parts to this, solving and memorization. First, you have to understand we don't solve it blindfolded the same way we solve it normally. In normal solves, we solve it by layers. In blindfolded solves, we solve the cube piece by piece. So for example, you see these pieces here called edge pieces. We do an algorithm to put them in the right spot. Now, how do we know what moves to do to get them in the right spot? So it's day 2 of practicing 3x3 blindfolded. We did about an hour and a half of practice today. Today is a flop. I was really frustrated today. I kept getting DNFs. I was always like either doing my algorithms by 1 move off, and then that led to like the whole solve being like horrible. We're gonna book a call tomorrow with Jack Cai. He's a 3-time former world record holder in blindfold solving. He should be able to give us good advice tomorrow. Part 2, memorization. Each piece on the cube represents a letter. Edge pieces will have its own memorization, and corner pieces will have its own as well. When the cube is mixed up, and when we look at it for memorization, we can tell, for example, piece B is not in the right spot, so we would do an algorithm to get it there. With this in mind, we can put each piece back where it belongs and create something called audio and visual memorization. So for example, if I had to memorize these sequences of letters, B, V, C, D, L, H, O, I would visualize a beaver throwing a CD at a lighthouse in my memorization. And that's the basics of blindfold solving. What's up, Jack Cai? How you doing?
Hello, Super Timmy. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Actually, I'm a bit frustrated right now. I had a lot of DNFs so far on my solves. Would you mind like critiquing one of my solves if I did one in front of you?
Yeah, sure.
3, 2, 1. Diver at Utah Jazz with a hammer. Dip. Game with a hammer. Oh, I might have mismemoried that. Oh! No! No! What is one advice you would give to me that I should focus on?
I think try some edges only solves. When I was like averaging the same as what you average right now, I did a lot of edges only solves and that really helped out a lot.
So number piece of advice is doing edge only solves.
Yeah, if you want something specific, then yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jack Cai. Anything you want to shout out?
Alright. Yeah, I have a YouTube and tutorials.
Alright, thank you, Jack. Bye.
See ya.
So after that call with Jack Cai went really well. I learned that I need to be more calm while memorizing pieces. So I did what Jack told me, just practicing edges. And I'm going to keep doing that for probably the next day. So I'm going to do that today, tomorrow as well. The reason why practicing edges might help us really significantly, most of my problems right now is mismemorizing edges and executing them wrong. On days 4 and 5, it was Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so I just continued to practice some edge-only solves and celebrated Christmas with my friends and family. I found the edge-only solves were really helping me in targeting one of my main weaknesses in blindfold solving. And so on day 6, I went back to some regular full solves. Since we have less than 10 days left before our competition, we are going to book a call with Charlie Eggins, who's ranked 2nd in the world at blindfold solving, to see what else we can improve on. Could you show us a blindfold solve really quick?
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
That was like 14 seconds or something. That's insane. I'm mind blown. You want to roast one of my solves?
Sure, if you want me to.
AJ, do. I think I forgot my edges already. My edges aren't even solved. I know that. Oh. Alright, that was really bad.
Yeah, so your execution was like quite good, but I think cutting down the number of reviews that you do So maybe 2 or 3 passing.
So you might be wondering, what does 1, 2, 3 passing mean? Basically, it's how many reviews you do of the cube after memorization. So for example, if my memorization was beaver throwing a CD at a lighthouse, sometimes I would have to repeat that 5 times before putting my blindfold down. So if I were to only 1 pass memorization, I would only have to say that sentence once to be able to retain it during the solve. And 2 pass means saying it twice, and 3 pass means saying it 3 times.
I don't know how many you did, but it was quite a lot and was definitely slowing you down quite a bit in memorization.
So what would you say is the biggest tip for me right now?
You should just try and 2-3 pass every solve. Don't let yourself do more than that in practice. Just do 2 or 3, choose one of them. Do that many every time and try and get familiar with only doing that many passes.
Even if I get DNFs, don't be discouraged about those DNFs, right?
Yeah. When I was switching to 1 passing, I did 1,000 solves in a week, I think. And near the start of the week, I was DNFing probably 70% of the solves.
Really?
But by the end, I was much better accuracy.
Right. Thank you so much. Anything you would like to shout out?
So for YouTube, I'm SwiftCubing and Instagram too.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye. After the call with Charlie on day 10, we followed his advice during our solves. Then on New Year's Eve, 1 minute before 2023, on day 11 of Blindfold Challenge, this happened. So we finally got a 55-second time, achieving our goal of a sub 1 minute solve. So for the rest of the days leading up to the competition, I continued to practice following the advice of Charlie and Jack. Now it's competition day. Will we be able to get a sub 1 minute solve? Alright, it's the day of the competition. In total, we done nearly 500 solves in 17 days. Our worst time starting off was 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Now we get 1 minute and 30 seconds casually, which is insane. So our memorization definitely improved a lot. Right, now we're doing blindfolded. It's time to compete. Let's do this. Let's see what we get. After all our training, it comes down to these 3 solves. Starting with some deep breaths, and then starting the timer into the memorization stage. Except I did something dumb here. I held the cube in the wrong color order for memorization. When I memorize the cube usually, I always hold the white center on top and green center in front. But here I had yellow center on top and green center in front, which I did not realize until 10 seconds later. And then I had to restart my memorization. Eventually, after going over my memorization about 10 times, I started my solve and blazed through the edges quickly and got them all right. And then I forgot my corner memorization, which made me have a long pause. And then I just guessed my memorization after that, getting a unsuccessful solve on the first one. Now onto our second solve. I try to be much more calm on this one to make sure I don't mismemorize anything. But even with being calm, I still felt very unconfident with myself on my memorization skills at this moment. Even though this was a very easy memorization, I kept going back and forth, reviewing it 10 times. Then I started my solve going as fast as I can before my memorization leaves my head. And then this happened. We got a successful time of 1 minute and 40 seconds. Now our final solve. The second solve was super slow at 1 minute and 40 seconds, considering all the practice leading up to this. So this time I'm going to do as little reviews as possible for memorization so I can get a faster time. I did about 5 reviews and then pulled down my blindfold. And when I was doing my edges, I forgot 2 letters, A and O, which completely messed up my entire solve, making the last solve an unsuccessful solve. Now let's see how far a 1:40 time ranks us in the competition. Will this be enough to not get us last place? Okay, so I just found out we got 4th on 3x3 blindfolded. So we technically didn't fail because I said that if we got under a minute, we probably can get 4th. But yeah, we got 4th, which is really good. We went from the last place from the last competition to now 4th, which is a huge improvement. Now I'm imagining, what if we practice for 365 days? How fast could we get? Subscribe and follow along the journey and see how far we'll get with blindfold solving.